Incoming transmission.
It is recruits. 5 Aces here, General 5 Aces here, and I'm welcoming back to the OpenRA Global League Academy, where I'm gonna commentate and spectate my own replays of fairly high tier matches that have been played in the Red Alert Global League series. This is episode number 5, but actually I'm showcasing week number 6, where I was up against Barf, and the reason for that being is that Kirillo, who I was to go up against in week 5, did actually drop out of the league. He just forfeited. It was too much, a bit too much for him. Unfortunate, because Kirillo is a great player, but I was pitted against another great player here, Mr. Barf himself, or the Barfinator, or Blobmaster 3000. A relentless player. Someone who doesn't really care much about scouting, but just rather throws his entire army at your base. And game number 1, so far, up until this point, I think I had 6 wins and no losses, so I was feeling pretty confident. And match number 1 versus Barf got my ass handed to me. So this is not really a cast, it's more like just a strategical analysis, so I can spoil the result, might as well. So I got outscaled here, and I'm going to explain why and what happened. First off, he scouts me with a dog. He sees my base, nothing out of the ordinary. I don't go for infantry, don't want to churn out infantry here because the dog is just gonna eat him up one by one, like Pac-Man. And yeah, here Barf went for 3 Grenadiers, and the idea behind this is he is going to run his rifles into my base because he knows that there's not much infantry, or no infantry at all, basically, because I'm rushing out of War Factory. He knows that. So his trail of thought here is, okay, maybe I can apply enough pressure to force me to place a pillbox with the rifleman in a spot that is convenient for him, or in a spot that the Grenadiers don't actually get hit by, and then he has got like a 10-second window to destroy my power plants, which he was going for anyway. But I didn't fall for it. I scouted this here and immediately popped my pillbox. Also a good reason to always have a defense queued up on the ready. So now I've got a ranger. I like my early rangers for scouting. I'm just churning through his infantry here. Just chewing through them and killing the dog in the process. He did nothing wrong. Well, too bad. So the early game actually went fairly well for me. I was feeling confident. I had stopped his Grenadier rush. Even though, by the way, Grenadiers do crazy damage to power plants. You've seen them go down to like 2 volleys of 3 Grenadiers. Now I'm scouting. I'm revealing much of the shroud. From my point of view, this is how it looks. So in the Global League you have those set options where you're not allowed to go explored map. So you actually have to do all the scouting work for yourself. And that's where Rangers really shine, because they just have such great line of sight. Other than that, our builds are fairly similar right now, because he invested into early Grenadiers, which didn't pay off. So we're both on 3 Harvesters, almost 4. Nothing too crazy here. Still very even. And he starts massing barracks now. I'm doing the same because I kind of know his playstyle. I'm expecting it, or half expecting at least, so 3 Harvesters is when I start feeling confident to produce infantry, or to mass produce riflemen at least. I know that my 4th Harvester is coming up. He's on 3 barracks already, so he has got a 25% production speed increase, for his infantry. I'm scouting, so you see me move my ranger left and right. The reason for that being is that map Warlord is a very tricky map to play because you always have to protect your flanks. Harvesters are such easy prey here. Flanks are so open. All the ore patches are at the edges, so you can't really lock that down. He's trying for an APC block, which was fairly good because I had expected more infantry aggression early on. So this works really well in his favor because, well, riflemen don't do damage to APCs. The APC driver just shrugs it off, then runs a couple over. My scatter command comes out, but a bit late. X to scatter, by the way. Always do that if you see APCs running at your infantry blobs. So now I am on 5 Harvesters, almost 6. I've got my service depot out, and I'm producing an MCV after that, I believe. Whereas he only has a bunch of infantry plus a really early MCV. And here comes one of my biggest mistakes that I'm doing in this game, or biggest early game mistakes. My ranger so far has provided me with lots of information. It has always scooted left and right, and always avoided, made me feel safe to move out with my infantry, because I knew that he wasn't going for infantry aggression early on. Or at least I wasn't seeing the lob. So here I'm running into his base, and that was a bad move, because he immediately pops a Tesla coil, and boom, there goes my scout. Now you might be saying, that's just a ranger, that's just like 500 down the drain. Yes, yeah, that's factually correct, but at the same time, this has provided me with lots of intel, which I'm now missing out on. So I can't see this coming, otherwise I would have moved my ranger there and would have seen this coming earlier, could have countered it. Fortunately, I was fast on the trigger finger. I get my camo pillbox thrown down and I get my harvesters all out safely, but it still denies some mining time. That was actually a fairly good engagement. Now, after this, we're gonna check the combat tab, and the combat tab is gonna look very solid for me. So I'm again feeling very safe. I'm thinking, okay, I have my MCV here. I can expand. I don't know about this expansion yet. I see it now. And he pops a Tesla coil, which means that I can't go there yet, because I don't have the critical mass to break through a Tesla coil. Not at all. I'm very light on infantry right now. And this was the biggest mistake I made. I assumed he would fortify this position here. I thought he would stay here, but Barf, being the unpredictable player that he is, went for aggression topside. And my MCV ran right in, and then I didn't know how many infantry there were, so or how many rocket soldiers there were. So I thought I could get away with this, but hell no, I lost my MCV for no gain, and that was the turning point of the match. At this point, I have gone double tech, radar dome here. I've got my first artillery out, which immediately gets Tesla sniped, gets zapped to hell and back. So this completely changed my game plan. Now I know I'm in a pickle, and I have to move most of my harvesters top very soon, because the Tesla coil is just gonna zap them from out of range. I've gotten a hind out, so I was probably playing a bit too tech greedy. If you see your opponent locking down the map, or good parts of the map, with Tesla coils and whatnot, you don't want to stay there. You don't want to stay and trade with this. You'd rather find a different vector of attack. So I'm desperately like scavenging all the resources I can topside, trying to get out another MCV, because I need the MCV right there. The only thing I've got going for me is the tech advantage. I've got the artilleries that he can't deal with currently. And this was very big, so he moved back, but he still retains his ore refinery, even despite being pushed out of here, which he will get pushed out very shortly. You see me use my hind for line of sight a lot. So the hind is not meant for direct engagements here, it's just there to provide line of sight, which is absolutely crucial on a map like this. And he's already got flak trucks, so I know I have to be extra cautious with the hind and with the artilleries. My artilleries go further ahead. Fortunately, I turn around, and I should have pushed into this. Actually, yeah, I knew it was there, but I expected the MCV to still be there, so my decision-making process was as follows. I don't want to go with my artilleries into this. I don't want to shell this, because he would just base crawl with a power plant and a Tesla coil, and my artilleries would get shreked. So I have medics mixed in. Oh, this is big. I lose my hind there. Trade my hind for a flak truck. Really, really bad trade. Now his flak trucks have free reign, because this flank here, this very flank, is completely unprotected. I get a really good trade again, thanks to my harvesters tanking and my medics healing up my boys. So I essentially clear the infantry completely for free. That's what you want to do. Mix in medics. Medics are really good. You'll see that in game 2 as well. Medics are awesome if you're spawning as allies, which I did. Now I can start sieging here. That was really bad. Never do what I did there. I accidentally had left my hinds out there, my artillery out there to die. Your artillery always needs to be behind something, behind a wall, behind a turret, behind infantry. So I'm base pushing here. Had I had those two artilleries, had I retained them, this would have been very differently. Here, another quick micro tip. Always try to focus fire. Camo pillbox is most effective against infantry, obviously. So what I'm doing here is I'm focusing out the infantry one by one. I get some really good value out of the camo pillbox. And this base push is working for me. I eventually start clearing him out, start flushing him out. Again, my infantry is not just A-moving, my infantry is force firing onto his infantry. Here I move back. Just in the nick of time. So at this point, it's still not looking horrible for me, but not good anymore. Here I lose another Hind, and the second Hind to boot for absolutely nothing. And that was the problem. He has already retained his refinery bottom side. What do I have? 3 harvesters on an empty ore patch. So the mechanic here was to salvage my MCV husk. I get it the first time around, but he starts chasing me down again. I have no defense prepared at that time because I'm completely broke, and I know that he has outscaled me. Now he's popping another. Now my ore trucks are forced to go into the ore patch, and he has popped the Tesla coil there, sniping all my ore trucks, denying this ore field, denying that ore field. So this little patch is all I have left, so I'm struggling. And at this point, I know this can't be won anymore. This is how the map looks for me. He has a base here, he has his main base here, and he has a huge army here. My last Hind goes down, and at this point I'm just calling it. I know that there is no conceivable way for me to come back here into the game. Losing my artilleries again. Unfortunate. I'm trying for one last push here. No, sorry, it wasn't over just yet. I still had one ace out my sleeve. So as soon as I got some cash back, I immediately went for a couple. Yeah, I still had artilleries there, and I went for camo pillboxes to push him out. But at long last, he had gone radar dome and an airfield, and he was about to get his yak, and the yak was my death blow. But until then, I was still doing fine. This was actually miraculously going very well. Unexpectedly, I was still able to fend this push off here. Get some nice arty shells in there. Melee range arty shells were pretty brutal, so I moved back. Yeah, it was still a good engagement for me, but at this point I knew I couldn't come back anymore. He had the yak. The yak was free to snipe all my stuff, to snipe my MCV, to snipe my artilleries and everything. And this was just it. Comeback City, the gates to Comeback City have closed here. More and more coming out here. I'm just on one Hind. That's basically my army. I was desperately trying to get a mechanic out to salvage my MCV husk. Not in time. So the MCV husk disappears. So he has 2 yaks. My artilleries are completely unprotected from that. I lose my last Hind, lose my last artillery, and that's it. Yeah, really well played. And now look at the kill count, 186 to 105. In terms of actual money, yeah, I was ahead in kills. So I'd killed a lot more of his infantry than he had of my stuff, but it didn't even matter. So this is how I got outscaled. Very important, always scout before you expand. I didn't do that. I ran into an infantry blob head first. My MCV got killed off. Pretty bad move. Don't do that. Also, retain your scouts, retain vision control, and on a map this eco-centric, don't double tech. I went radar dome. No, I went service depot into radar dome. Doesn't make sense on this map. I didn't really need it. It didn't provide me with a lot because the artilleries got sniped by those flak trucks. Yep. Outscaled and outplayed, but round 2 was about to get a lot more interesting. So stay tuned for part 2 of this.
Battle control terminated.
And we're right back after the commercials with my favorite map, Behind the Veil. So this was my host match. I picked Behind the Veil because it's my favorite 1v1 map, really well designed. Gives you lots of points to contest for, lots of early game action. And I knew I had to win this because Murto the Ray had already pushed me off the first spot in the league. And he actually had also had one loss against Carrillo, but that got nullified because Carrillo actually quit the league. So all his losses were translated into wins for the other players. lucky. Well, Murto the lucky son of a gun. But yeah, same happened to me. I didn't have to play Carrillo, and I didn't have to play Declan. Carrillo is a very good player as well, so there's that. We were having a high-tier spectator chat during this match, and we knew this was a bit hype. So I was feeling the pressure a bit, I have to say. Immediately trying to lock down those oil derrick positions, you have to go there very early. You have to rush out of barracks. This map is barracks rush central, it's a necessity. If you don't get a hold of your own 2 oil derricks at least, you're just gonna lose. Straight up. Also, if you stay on this ore patch for too long, you're gonna lose as well. So it just gives you lots of things to do. Here I tried to sneak in, I didn't get there in time. So instead, I'm taking my 2 rifles and I'm thinking, if I can't snipe them from this side, let's cap the NG from the other one. Because in this game the physics are not really... Well, there are physics, but it's not really the way you would imagine it from a modern game. Instead, how it works is everything can shoot over cliffs. Cliffs are just... yeah, they're just terrain. They're just like a roadblock. They're not actually cliffs. So what you can do, you can move your rifleman right here, which I'm doing very shortly, I believe. And you can actually shoot over the wall and try to shoot onto this position and prevent the engineer from capping, because the engineer, if it wants to cap, it has to, if he wants to cap, he has to touch the oil derrick with this magic wrench. And I was trying to force fire into the fog of war, just like this. Could have spotted the engine, and he just spots this like a split second too early for me to kill the engineer. So good play on him, he pulled back, and I didn't get the deny off. Nice rifle salvos over those cliffs. It was pretty beautiful. Yeah. So the gambit didn't pay off, but it's just 3 riflemen. I wasn't really too concerned about that. Got my own 2 oil derricks, and I got my oil derricks earlier, so that's probably already worth the 300 that I invested into Lost Rifles. Now, again, mass rifles versus Barf, because he just loves going infantry blobs, and you need that. And one of the hardest counters you can actually have to both flak trucks and infantry blobs are your own rifle blobs, but mixed in with medics. Medics are so good, they tank for days. And they also heal AoE, which I didn't know before that. So their heal is an AoE that actually heals an entire cell. So if you have, like, say, those five riflemen grouped up together, and they're all getting low, and the medic just dumps in one of those healing packages, boom, all back to full health. Pretty good, darn good. But they also can heal your opponent's units if they're too close or staying in the same cell as your unit. So it's quite an interesting dynamic. You'll see this come into play very much during this match, because of me actually figuring out how to counter his playstyle. And this time around I just knew there was no time for fuck-ups. This had to be it. So he's coming in with an APC. My scatter move was very cute, but a bit late. After 3 of his comrades got squashed, they just politely move away from the road. He gets a snipe on my engine, not big. I was not planning on doing anything with it. And I have my anti-armor control group, that's what I love to do. Here is my rifle control group for infantry, and here is my anti-armor control group with the bazookas. Mass barracks again, because I know I have to match the infantry blobs with blobbage of my own. Barf is, interesting enough, always investing into early Tesla coils. Not really necessary, drains a lot of power, takes a lot of time to build, takes a lot of money away from your army. But at the same time, it just gives you the safety of your opponent not being able to push in early. Well, I'm not someone who would go for like a super cheesy early game build. Don't think I did that in the league. So positional play here, just trying to catch him out off guard and get the oil derricks. He's securing his expansions, trying to be sure. Again, he went for a really early second MCV. And he's on 6 harvesters. I'm on 5, and I'm tech rushing. But on this map, it's much more viable. You can easily get away with it. Also, I really want the tech center in this matchup, because of the Barfmeister's erratic playstyle, where sometimes he would attack from the left, then he attacks from the middle, then he attacks from the left again, then it's from the right, and you always struggle to get into position. Now, look at this. I'm not losing a single infantry here due to the AoE heals of the medics. Now I'm completely free to snipe his first oil derrick. That's already a small gain for me. He's moving in with an infantry blob, but his control is not the same. He's not using tactical control groups the same way I am, I think. So here, what I'm doing is moving back the anti-armor group, and the infantry group just stays behind and gets some juicy veterancy. I almost don't lose anything. That's how you play out infantry engagements. So the medics are here in the middle to stay in the back lines and heal. The anti-armor control group is staying back. I went for an early Chinook, and he, interestingly enough, went for a mine layer to deny my expansion by means of mines, which are then in turn gonna churn through my harvesters. Pretty interesting play. Now here I've got a Chinook, chock-a-block full. I think I had like 6 rocket soldiers and 2 rifles, something like that. And I tried to just go for some eco harassment. I know that this is not gonna kill off much. He was lucky there on the exit path. They got 2. And also the ore truck was on its way to being transferred over to this expansion already. So that was not as I expected. I expected the ore truck to stay there and harvest. Was a bit of a bummer, but just 2 rocket soldiers down. Retained the Chinook. And Chinooks are super useful, even late game. So here I see that his APCs are coming in, and that I probably have to book it. Fortunately getting some good heals in, and he's not lucky with the crushes there. Now here's my anti-armor group, just killing off all the APCs before they can get anything done. Now my tanks are here, because I obviously went Service Depot and Radar Dome and Tech Center in this. And I get a really good engagement again. Healing, pulling my wounded tank back, that was also nice. And the medics are still there. I built 5 medics in the early game. They cost you 1,000, and those guys were so worth it. So eventually I'm scouting my natural expansion, and I see that he's got a mine layer there. Many people have complained about mines, that they're kind of broken, which, well, they're strong, but there is a fairly easy counter that not many people seem to know. I built a mine layer of my own, because mine layers do have mine detection. They're actually the only thing that has mine detection in the game. So just move your own mine layer there and then kill the mines. Then they become visible and you can target them all you'd like. So his blobbish again is trying to... here I lost a couple medics, that was not good. Should have pulled back earlier. But at least I retained the anti-armor control group. What I'm doing here is leaving my rifles to die, because they're gonna buy time, and rifles are really cheap, so that didn't really matter. Now he gets the perfect yak crash off. The yak crash kills all my anti-armor. That was extremely bad for me. Extremely unfortunate. I lose my Heinz because he's still got his blob there. Blobulon. Lord Blobulon. And yeah, that yak crash into my anti-armor control group just killed off my entire ability to fight this, to take this engagement. The tanks were trying to flank, but there are just too many rocket soldiers. And now I know I desperately need vision. He's trying to take out my Uldex, which he succeeds at, obviously. And I'm struggling for vision control, because what I need here is to know whether he's going left or right. And he decides to go to the right side, which I'm scouting. Fortunately, I've got the Chinook, and the Chinook still has a really, really large vision cone, which is awesome. He's coming in with yaks, flak tracks from all sides and angles. But I've got a solid defense here. And flak tracks are not meant to go up close and personal, because they have such light armor, they're so brittle. They die to even riflemen. So he recognizes that, he pulls back, and he lost the entire infantry section. I, on the other hand, have now built a missile silo and have got an allied tech center. Plus, my mine layer, I didn't actually want this for mines, I wanted to deny his mines. So the detection radius gives me the security that I need to just spot the mines. I'm moving the mine layer forward and killing off all the mines. That's how you counter them. There are no more, I'm just checking. He's got another blob, and this time he's probably going to attack middle, from what I can remember. He's trying to scout for my nuke. To this point, yes, now he has found it. He's found nuke and the tech center. And keep in mind that he's Ukraine. So you see me build a second tech center later on. simply because the Ukrainian paradrop just kills off a tech center like it's no one's business. Again, my army is out of position, and Barf is really good at flanking and taking engagements where the army is just not ready for it. But he doesn't get far into my base. Kills like a power plant. And here I've intercepted his reinforcements at the cost of a hind. That was very solid. Popping camo pillboxes simply to thin out the blob here. What you need to do is get the rocket soldiers out of the equation because they just do so much damage. Now this, I get a really good cleanup here, and you see me kill lots of his units, and he doesn't kill too many of my units. But the thing is, I have tech rushed, right? So I'm pretty broke, and my eco is very low. He, on the other hand, has gone for an early expansion. Look at how harvested out he is. Now he kills my second ore patch. He kills off my second refinery. Or third refinery, I guess. And that was a really bad move on my part. I never really... I completely forgot. I never rebuilt this in the game, I believe. So you see me struggle with the eco a bit. But it worked out regardless. So now transitioning into Mars Hinds. Really hard to deal with for a Soviet player, especially on this map, because it has those ridges. And the Hinds, if they see the flak trucks coming in, they can always just duck over the ridges and fly away gracefully. I've got a lot of veterancy on this blob, and again, a couple medics mixed in. Those guys just do wonders. He tried for a cheeky grenadier, like some grenadier aggression, I guess, on my power plants. Don't know what it actually was, but it failed. Grans are cheap though, 160 apiece. So no big loss for him. And I'm trying to just make this airtight. I know now he's got a nice yak formation coming in, and they're sniping my second ore refinery. At the cost of a couple yaks, but he still keeps denying my eco. That's pretty big for him. Almost gets a good crash off. I think he tried. Yeah, he tried to get a crash off, but fortunately my infantry were moving ahead. So now I'm on one refinery and like 3 mining harvesters. I needed something, and I needed something real quick. Because if we look at the eco tab, if we look at the earnings, yeah, that's going to spike for him very shortly. And if you look at the earned tab over lifetime, I've earned 80,000, he has earned almost 100,000. So that's really skewed in his favor. He pops the Iron Curtain, which he has, by the way, placed here, conveniently. And that was so good. He was baiting into the parabombs. He knew my army was coming in. I tried to move out, sell the camo pillbox, but still does a lot of damage. And then he also almost finds the Hinds with his flak truck army. Iron Curtain flak truck's pretty brutal. My Chinook almost going down, but still staying strong. What I did here was hiding my infantry to the right side and then coming in the clutch and moving. So that was that was a fairly good trade for me again. I lost my Conyard, which was not that big a deal, and he lost a lot of assets. He lost his entire army. I'm free to snipe some stuff now, which I hopefully did. No, I didn't. Well, the more you know. But I'm on such low econ. Let's check the earnings graph again. Well, he was also dipping. The reason being that he completely mined out both his patches, or all 3, I guess. Look at this. This here is unmined. This is completely unmined. So basically, this is the econ difference. This is all I did not have and Barf had, and I had to make up for it in the combat tab. So that's a difference of what, 12,000 in the assets killed, because I took better engagements. And my Nuke is coming up, and now this is a very big thing, my nav set. He has not managed to deny it. He could have sniped it with the parabombs, but I guess it was more important for him to try and snipe my army. It would have been way worse for me if he had sniped my allied tech center, because then he would have reset my GPS timer. And that would have been so detrimental for me, because in order to counter his playstyle, you just need the GPS satellite. Yeah, I'm still struggling with the econ. Trying to get my MSV up, and I think it was very close to coming. There it almost is. Couldn't even afford to repair a Hind, so that's how broke I was. I'm $1, literally. gets a nice crash off again. But this was where that was a slight lapse on his part. He was actually on move command, so I got to get a few good snipes here. Moving my army back because I saw him pop the Iron Curtain, and there's no point fighting an Iron Curtained army. And those two medics are such good counters to the poke of the flak trucks. They just heal everything back up. So those two medics remained from the early game 5. Now I was going for a radar jammer because I knew he had a lot of rockets, and radar jammers just hard counter rockets. So what I'm trying to do here is it's basically death by 1,000 cuts, and it's just taking getting more efficient trades in because I have the tech advantage. Now I know all I need to do here is focus his flak trucks out, and then my helis are free to swoop in and just get a lot of stuff killed. Focusing rocket soldiers with my helis, and you see me not A-moving, you see me being on move command. Here I realized the errors of my way too many mobile flags. Pretty bad. I've got the Chinook back up, I've got my mobile radar jammer, and I think I'm building Tanya. So there is 145 on the nuke timer. You may think, okay, this looks good. Nuke timer is coming up, right? Look at this, the medics. I lost like 1 or 2. Here I sniped just a lot of infantry. I lost like 1 or 2 rifles there, it was pretty good. Now I've got a half ammo heli army, and he's moving in with 4 heavy tanks, which I see on my radar because I already do have the GPS satellite. I'm not really scared because I think, yeah, it's just 4 heavy tanks, right? I can counter that easily. He's trying to snipe my missile silo. Fortunately, all the Yaks miss. They all just go into oblivion. And now I know I have to do something because he is dangerously close to my base. So fortunately he's got wounded tanks and I'm just sniping them down. Now A-moving to just get his infantry out of the way. And those 2 heavy tanks, okay. So you're about to witness one of the clutchest plays. I know that he's going straight for missile silo. He's not even A-moving. He's just focused on my missile silo. I'm trying to block here. He's turning around. I kill off the first tank, so I think, okay, that's good. Keep in mind, dear, right now I am completely broke. I have literally $0, and I'm trying to get a wall. I wanted to build a wall here so he can't shoot over it, and I can save my missile silo, right? It's Iron Curtain. But I don't have the cash for even a single bit of wall. I was that broke. I should have cancelled my tanks. I didn't do that in time. Turret comes up way too late, and with his last shot, with his very last shell, he takes out my nuke that was just about to be ready. Apologies. So that was just one of the clutchest plays I've seen in a very long time. Now he comes in with 3 Yaks as well. And just sniping down my tech center. Bad trade for him, but again, he denies my vision. Or my map hacks, basically. That's what he thinks. But I have built 2 more tech centers, and there is no particular reason for why they're supposed to be this close. They shouldn't be. What I actually did was, I thought I had a power plant ready when I popped the second tech center. And then I realized, oh shit, I've built 2 tech centers next to each other. It's gonna bite me in the ass later. So you see the stream of infantry trickling in here, and you see a lot of flak trucks. It's the plus of death here. I know what that is. That is just he's trying to get the Iron Curtain up again. So now it's my turn to snipe his eco because I know he has nothing there. Try and get a snipe on the barracks as well. He is walled off, interestingly enough. He was scared of me pushing through there. I've got a lot of veterancy on that infantry. Just look at the army, moving back just in time. There are generals. This is like a really high ranking elite squad. Tanya's in there. Tanya's back in the mix. Like, this was an elite squad if I ever saw one. The Yak is scouting, and it scouts my double tech center and gets a free hind to boot. It was a bit slow on the reaction. 4 medium tanks is kind of a meat shield, but yeah, I've kind of bled him dry because he has just not much income left to gather, whereas I still have a good chunk of my ore patch that I never really harvested up. And here again, getting some good trades in. My tanks are running in, trying to get the pushes or the crushes, and trying to make the infantry go prone so that my infantry can catch up. Even though they're all vetted, so they're like going so super fast anyway. And I've got a large hind fleet there. Now let's look at the combat. It's already looking pretty bad for him. I have killed 90,000, he has killed 30,000, so he is 30k behind. The only reason why he is still in the game is because his eco was better. He's just harvested more than me, period. Now I see the single file formation there, and I'm like, okay, we need to do something about that. He's going for V2s, which was a really good choice. That was bad. My part tried to make it go away. And I know I can't engage into this because A, he's got the Iron Curtain up, and B, and there are lots of flak trucks, and B, my infantry just gets slain by the V2 rockets because the mobile flags make them go prone. Unfortunately, mobile radar jammers do not deflect V2 missiles. That would have been a bit broken, but I would love it regardless. So here I'm trying to find an angle with my... Again, he gets a really good set of parabombs off. Kills lots of my tanks and infantry. And here I'm completely okay with that trade. The reason being that I completely denied his MCV and his mining. So he's also struggling with the eco now. And by the way, still no refinery. Why the hell? I don't know. I just didn't pay enough attention there. It was a bit hectic in that game. So the earnings are going to take a nosedive for both of us. Again, great counter with the medics. Just healing up my vetted infantry, so there's no way that those can actually achieve anything. The V2s can though. And I'm just trying to find an angle here. Trying to wait out the flak trucks and then move in. Now I see the flak trucks have gone way forward, and this is where you move in. Move in for the kill, mow them down, slay them all. Again, his entire army is countered at the cost of a couple rifle soldiers and a couple medics. This is just a, this is a zone denial playstyle, where you just deny all your opponent's attacks and eventually just grow so much stronger due to the tech advantage. Look at this. Chronosphere, Tanya and Chinook. Double tech Sarah. Yep. Double tech center, very viable. And he's just... yeah, he's not in a good spot anymore. I don't know whether he has a base defense up, so what I'm doing here, I'm going around the outskirts and trying to snipe the curtain because I know it's there. Scouted with my helis, and you always see me, by the way, not doing this directly. I do this coupled with an attack on another flank because I want my opponent to be caught off guard. I want to make him suffer. I want to basically make him divert his attention towards something else. Nice crash again. Tanya's going in here. And he realizes that I was lucky on his part because he had just placed a flag. And he's trying to get wire fence to wire me in with wire fence, box me in there. But nope. Tanya gets the job done. And his Iron Curtain is out of the mix. And now I know I have lots of freedom for at least 3 or 4 minutes. However long it takes him to build another one. That was a paradrop into the camel pillbox. And I was kind of overcommitting to the Hinds here. Hinds are really good, but they're not good at ending games. They're just good at clearing armies, and they're good at sniping unprotected buildings. Yeah, here I'm just making use of my Chronosphere, because why not? Saw a juicy blob there. Decided to just Chrono some vehicles in for free. Get some nice cash bounty on the way out. And I realized that there is basically no anti-air. So I can move in, kill the Conyard, kill the V2, and kill the ore refinery. So it's again, just hitting his eco yeah, sure, there's a SAM site, and I'm gonna lose 2 Hinds. But that's completely worth it. Now I'm building Chrono Tanks. So I know I have it on lockdown. So I went for a couple of Chrono Tanks, Power Snipes. And at this point, but he still had a couple aces up his sleeve. Look at this. Ukraine's special. The special delivery service. Coming in hot. And it looks so unsuspicious. Taking Yak down. It looked so unsuspicious on the minimap. You just see this thing, you expect it to be a flak truck that's like there for zone denial. And you're about to witness like what is probably one of the best plays in the league that I've seen during the entirety of the season. And I have watched all matches. Well, I play that I should have seen coming in hindsight, but yeah. So the Chrono Tanks I built because they can jump over the ridges and not care about the concrete wall in any way, shape or form. 10 seconds cooldown on the blink is really amazing. They have light armor, but they're still very great in this situation. What I'm doing here, I am... yeah, that was good. I kind of... I blinked back into my anti group, so the Yak would die if it wants to get my Chrono Tank. Okay, and this I should have seen coming. I was like, huh, why is he attacking with 3 harvesters? Well, he had backup. And boom! I don't even get the deploy key because I wanted to blink my Chrono Tanks out of there, but not in time. Slipped on the keyboard. That was a great play. He deleted, with a swift strike, he deleted like all of my army. Fortunately, the Hinds were not in the area. Had they been in the vicinity, hell, would have probably thrown the towel. Here, you see me having triple text error. You might be saying, what the fuck, but it's Ukraine. I'm versing Ukraine, so there can always be a para drop at any given time. There can always be a set of para bombs deleting your tech center at any given time. Now he's got an army back out again, but I've got a huge Hind fleet. It's got the Iron Curtain. I'm blinking to safety. And this time no medics, so the flag trucks are really efficient. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I just need to get to thin out the blob. So I'm blinking in with my Chrono Tanks, probably not the best. And he deleted 2 of my tech centers and the camo pillbox with a single click of press of a single button. That was just sad day for me. Now here I know that this formation is just waiting to be Iron Curtained, but it's flag trucks, right? What can flag trucks do to buildings? They're nothing. They're just sitting there, looking pretty and swagging away. Now I've just got such a huge Hind fleet there, and he can't really deal with this anymore. He has no answer. Because again, all the flag trucks, whenever he fires the Iron Curtain, I just move back with my Hinds, wait, and then I know I'm free to move in. Now this was really lucky on his part. He went in with the Yaks and 2 crashes almost took out my missile silo again. But this time he had no follow-up. Fortunately, my nuke was about to hit. So I knew I was in a good spot and I could burn a lot of his base there. Had I known that the Iron Curtain was still on cooldown, I might have went for the Iron Curtain. So here, I was able to do this because they were focusing on the tank. Again, trading 1 Hind for the entire army, completely worth it. Denying his eco, priceless. Another ore refinery down, and this is where the nuke is gonna hit. Yeah, 1 Hind, 1350. 2 flak trucks, 600. The feeling of watching your opponent's base melt away in a matter of seconds, priceless. Yes. That put a dent in his base, and I still couldn't finish the job though, because the way Barf plays is he just has so many base defenses at any given time. So you're always hesitant to go in. You know you need critical mass. Now I'm going for artilleries. Again, like I said in one of the earlier casts, artilleries I don't build as mass damage dealers. I built them to poke out my opponent and force them into taking bad engagements. Because once you start you feel the psychological pressure of the AD shell zeroing in onto your base, you actually start to think about engaging. And that's what I want. I want to engage. I want my opponents to engage into an army that they can't deal with. So I'm building like 3 or 4 of them. I know that those are just gonna get sniped easy mode by a couple flak trucks. But it doesn't matter. He's got a second demo truck churned out. I don't know how he even manages to do that with this little econ. It's basically long distance mining on all fronts. And this time I kind of spot it. I chrono in some harvesters, simply because I want the free cash bounty and I want to deny more of his eco. There we go. Free pickoffs. And that's like critical mass on Hinds for a 13. 13 Hinds can burn through anything. And really funny, what's really funny is I also did this knowing that they were on the repair field, on the ore pad. So what happened is the husks get chronoed back and block the econ again. I spot his demo truck, move out the other Hinds, send in a single Hind, salutes to the pilot. Sorry my friend, you've done your job. You have deserved the Medal of Honor. And now I'm starting the siege here. I know that there's no more demo truck and nothing can come in for a very long time. So this is basically game territory. This is where, at this point, I would actually call the game, I think. In, like, if it were Barf. Seeing the base here, seeing all the mass bases, seeing the nuke, seeing the armies, and being shelled from all sides. Moving out my MCV, just going for a bit of base push. Trying to shut down the power, but not finding the angle again. Yep, that's pretty much all she wrote. And here I see the single file formation again. And I think what I did there... the chrono's almost up, yeah, in like 20 seconds. So I've got an entire army to back this up. It's not just artilleries. The tank moving in. Just trading with the flags there. Because the flags are actually not that bad versus the tank, they just kite him to shit. But it forces the flags to always stay very wary and moving back. So much denial coming in there. Look at this, 3 artilleries, just putting on the pressure. He knows he has to do something, he's trying to get the formation. I see it on the minimap, and now that he's built the plus of death, I just know that that I can chrono them away. Should have chronoed them into my army, but I was afraid of the Iron Curtain, of him reacting in time. So if he reacts in time, I basically just chrono 5 Iron Curtain tanks, or 5 Iron Curtain flak trucks into my stuff. They chrono back, and obviously start killing my artilleries, because that's what they do. Should have seen that coming. And he calls it. It's not done yet, he's still playing it out, he's a good sport there. But he knows that he has lost, and there we go. In terms of kills, second match was very decisive. It's like, yeah, 160,000 to 120,000, that's 40k difference over the course of this game. It was a long game, and it was really hard. Barf has a really unpredictable style, and I just went high-tech to counter him. Yeah, this is also a kind of piece of advice on comebacks, because I had some really high pressure in the second game, and this actually put Murto ahead, because Murto had now had I think 8 points out of 8, and I had 7 wins, 1 loss. So I knew I had to, yeah. And the match for week 7, I believe, was myself against Murto. So I knew I had to win both matches against Murto if I wanted to stay in the race for this for the OpenRA competition, the first spot in the Global League. So for now, recruits, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something about taking engagements and about taking versus not taking. And I'll see you next time. 5 Aces out.